The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states, and you also get $20 for free when you sign up with the promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi promo code SGPN. And welcome everyone to the NBA Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Currently Monday night, January 26th, around 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm Rose Reichel, once again joined by Lonte Smith. Together we're going to break down the games for Tuesday. Lonte, how's it going with you? Pretty interesting card here on Monday. Looking at the card, I believe we have 7 games on the schedule for Tuesday. So, what's up with you? How's your Monday going?
Yeah, pretty good. We got some good performances as well. Donovan Mitchell had 45. The Hornets nearly won by, I think, 45. They're looking like one of the better teams in 2026 right now. But yeah, I mean the Grizzlies and the Rockets are going back and forth. So yeah, it's a good card. The Lakers I thought had pulled away from the Bulls, but the Bulls kind of fall back a little bit to make that interesting. So yeah, overall good card so far.
Yeah, I know at the last minute, Ant ended up not playing for Minnesota, so we'll see what happens in that game. Donovan Mitchell, you said before at 45, cash my lock. I had Cavs minus 4.5, so I appreciated it. Banchero had a solid game, and it didn't matter. Paolo had 37, and Orlando still could not reach 100 points. So there you go. Yeah, Orlando's got some serious problems. Suggs was horrific today, 4 points on 2 of 13 shooting. Ouch. You mentioned Philly. They sat Embiid, they sat Paul George, and they got buried in the game. Nice win for Atlanta. CJ had a solid game. And you mentioned Houston, Minnesota was close. It was, or Houston, Memphis, I mean. Houston's kind of pulled away as they're up 11 halfway through the fourth quarter. And the Lakers and Bulls, it's competitive. Neither team plays any defense. So we'll see how that game ends over the last few minutes. Anyway, before we get into the actual card here for Tuesday, a reminder, if you want to find all of our picks and podcasts on the network in one convenient place, check out the SGPN app, free to download in the App Store. So instead of going to Spotify or Apple or the individual YouTube channels, you can just go to the SGPN app, free to download, and once again get access to all of our podcasts in one convenient location. So moving on to the actual card here for Tuesday, Portland is in the middle of the game right now against Boston as they are trailing by 10 entering the fourth quarter. I know Avdia did not play in the Boston game. I'm assuming he will play in this game because the Wizards traded him away. So I'm assuming he'll be back in action for this one. Portland laying 7.5 on the road on a back-to-back. And the Wizards, of course, we know stink, but there is a rest advantage involved with the Wizards, and the over-under is at 233.5. So, Lonte, let's assume for a second that Avdia will play in this game. And I think you'd agree with that based on the revenge angle and based on the back-to-back spot. It makes sense he sat out the Boston game if he was going to play in this game. Do you think 7.5 is fair for a Portland team on a back-to-back? Or do you want to go with Washington to be competitive for once and to maybe take them plus 7.5?
Well, I mean, Washington's been semi-competitive over the last week. They played Denver tough both times. They played Charlotte tough, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been right there. They just kind of obviously just can't get over the hump. I don't think they want to be quite frank.
Oh, no, it's
But
the best outcome for them.
yeah,
Right now, the Wizards have lost 9 in a row,
yeah,
and each of the last 5 losses have been by 10 points or less. So they have
yes.
been competitive over the last
Yeah,
week.
to their standard, that's competitive for sure. And I think if you look a little bit deeper into those games, like they were leading in a couple of those games late and kind of obviously just lost it. But I do think it's a good spot for them with the rest advantage. And then Portland actually I thought was going to get blitzed in this game. I think they started off. I think Boston started off on like a huge run,
Yeah.
and then Portland kind of fought back. So credit to them for doing that. But I do think it's a better spot for the Wizards. I like the matchup. They can match up some of the athleticism that they have with some of the athleticism that they have on the wings. I think Portland might struggle with that. I do expect Avia to have a bigger game and bigger impact on this specific game. But I'm gonna take the points with Washington, man. I think they can hang within seven here. And you might want to honestly, what I might do is go full unit first half, like first quarter, first half, and then go like a quarter unit for the full game because you know how things can get with teams like the Wizards.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you on the Wizards. I do think at the end of the day, you're looking at a good spot for the Wizards to maybe take advantage of the Trailblazers being fatigued after playing what looks like a pretty close game against Boston, down 10 right now in the fourth quarter. It's a rock fight in that game, too. Pretty physical out there. I think it's a good spot for Washington. I mean, Portland, we know, has been so far this season feisty, but as a massive favorite, they've not been great at covering numbers. So I don't mind it. I'll go for the Wizards here. Don't mind the under. I'm with free sauce on the under here. I do think that really just watching the Blazers play tonight, defense has been a bit better. They're traveling. They're on a back-to-back. And the Wizards, we know, randomly can also not score. So give me the under in this game as well. Moving on to the next game. Moving on to the Kings. Taking on the Knicks. Kings are getting 13.5 on the road, and the over-under is at 230.5. The Kings are 3-19 on the road. The Knicks are 17-6 at home. Neither team is playing tonight, so both teams will be rested. They played once this season. It was earlier this month, actually, about 2 weeks ago, and the Kings did win at home by 11. For the recent form, the Knicks had a locker room players-only meeting, and then I'd say Josh Hart denied it. But whatever happened there, they've been good since, as they have won 2 straight. And you're looking at the Kings, and this team we know stinks. For the Kings, they have lost 5 in a row, and I will point out that 3 of the last 4 games have been by 13-plus points. So we saw the Kings do some damage against the Knicks the first time around. Knicks have been playing a bit better. Nice win against Philly. I know Philly got buried by Charlotte tonight, but they also benched a couple of key players on their team. It's a lot of points, but I understand it. I don't really want to lay this with the Knicks, but I don't want to take it with Sacramento either. So I'm kind of just stuck. But I'll ask you about the Knicks defense because they have allowed less than 107 they've allowed less than 110 in 3 of the last 4. They have been better defensively, and I know for a fact the Kings can't guard anybody.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of sending me towards the Knicks direction because I do think the Knicks can walk into 130 in this game, but I actually like how their defense has been playing. Game. Guess I'm on the Knicks. Be like in this game.
I would go Knicks first quarter, first half again. Just I don't really trust them. I know they've been playing better as of late, but they probably should have lost that Philly game. To be honest, I mean Philly kind of gave it away at the end or towards the end. I think they had a decent lead and they just kind of didn't know what to do with it. And then it came down to those. I think somebody got it was a weird ending to that game for whatever reason, but. Yeah, I mean, I think the Knicks are going to have to try to make some changes. Obviously, with the quote unquote tension between Cat and the coaching staff, mostly Mike Brown. So I've been kind of staying away from the Knicks until they kind of get that figured out. And like you said, it's just a 2-game sample size, but they have been playing a lot better defensively for the most part. And again, the Kings, they need to blow it up. It's been time for them to blow it up, but. When Sabonis came back originally, they were playing well. Like, they had those 2 big wins at home. They were being competitive, and they just, hit a funk again. So,
well, we see this with bad teams all the time.
Yeah.
There are a lot of games in the season. You might find a bit of a hot streak. I mean, they played the Wizards at home. They didn't play the greatest competition. They beat a couple of good teams, too. But DeRozan was playing well, and you saw Sabonis coming off the bench, who looked pretty good energy-wise.
Yeah.
But in reality, this team is just not good. It's a poorly constructed team. So occasionally, if your good scorers get hot, you can win some games. But it doesn't change the fact your team can't guard anybody.
Yeah,
and if your team's not hitting shots, you're getting blown out every game. So it looked good a couple weeks ago, but I think we all know it was a flash in the pan. This team stinks.
Yeah, I like the team total over. I think I like where you were going with that. I mean, they've given up 120 plus in 4 straight, if I'm not mistaken, 130 plus twice in that span. So, I mean, I think the Knicks can roll. I think they've slowed down the pace the Knicks have, which has kind of helped their defense. Mm-hmm. But again, we talked about the Kings not being able to guard anybody. So, efficiency-wise, the Knicks should be able to score in half court whenever they want to. So, I believe they'll score close to 130 here.
That's how I feel. So that's kind of why I'm going with the Knicks, because I'll dare the Kings to basically get to 117, and I don't think they can. So I'll go for the Knicks in this one. Moving on to the next game. Damn, this game's going to suck. Bucks playing the Sixers. Sixers are laying 9.5. Over-unders at 220.5. Now, we know Embiid and Paul George sat in the game against Charlotte, assuming they're going to play this game. As for Milwaukee, Giannis is either injured or they faked an injury to ship him away. because he was calling out the entire team and they were getting blown out in every game. So, first of all, Lonte, I'll ask you, do you think he's actually injured, or do you think they sent him on a premature vacation?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he is injured, and I do think they sent him off on the vacation because it's in their best interest to do so. I mean, you're not doing anything long term. You got a couple of moves that you can make, but I mean, with him being out, quote unquote, 3 to 4 weeks was the first diagnosis that they had. I mean,
Are we sure he plays again this season?
no, I mean, I wouldn't. If I was them, I would not. Like, what is the upside of him playing?
The upside's a playing spot, even though your team stinks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have a shot this year. Send him home. Let him be with his family. I mean,
let him pack his bags. You know,
you get a better draft pick. I don't know what they're going to do as far as trade. Well, I don't think they are going to trade him. But
not mid-season. I think during the offseason they will.
Yeah, maybe off-season. So yeah, I just can't see him coming back and playing this year. I mean, there's just no rationale behind it. I don't think they can really come to their fan base and say, hey, this is why we're playing our franchise player. There's no reason for that. But in this specific game, man, after watching, I mean, I know it's, not supposed to be recency bias, but after watching the Sixers today, man, they look rough, man. That game was over from probably, I think it was competitive for about 4 minutes. And then the Hornets did whatever they wanted. They struggled defending the ball screens with LaMelo and Diabate.
I know Knipple had a good game too. I think he had 8 rebounds, 7 assists or something.
Yeah, like he was good too.
Solid overall game.
I mean, they all played well. Brandon Miller played well. He shot the hell out of the ball. Like it was hard for them to stop anything. Now I know the Bucks obviously don't have the talent that the Hornets have, but if they can get those guys spread out and run those high pick and rolls with Miles Turner popping out and shooting a three, they could have some success here. So maybe I'll look over, if anything, but I can't lay this big of a number with the Sixers, and I don't want to take that number with the Bucks. Similar to what you thought about with the last game, like I'm just kind of in between. So I'll just go with the over in the game, thinking we see a lot more offensive explosion from the Sixers, and then the Bucks can kind of exploit what the Sixers are weak at, which is defending that pick and roll.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I'll go with Philly in this game. I don't mind Philly first half. Yes, they got buried by Charlotte team. I do think it's a great bounce back spot, I'd say motivation-wise, for Philly early in this game. As you said, they got embarrassed. They got blitzed early, they quit immediately, and they lost by about 40 points. I think that it's a good thing they're playing again tomorrow because they didn't play today. They were supposed to, they didn't show up. So I think it's a good spot to have Nick Nurse yell at all the players, get some intensity back, and to get back on track against a really bad Milwaukee team. You're looking at the supporting cast, and they have nobody who I like on this team. I mean, Rollins was intriguing earlier this season. You haven't really heard much about him over the last couple of weeks. I'm not a Kevin Porter Jr. guy. That's pretty well documented. I'm not a fan of Miles Turner. Bobby Portis is not the guy he used to be. I just don't like this roster, at all. I think Philly has some good pieces. Maxey was horrible today, so I'm expecting him to bounce back in this game. Embiid might have a monster game, who knows? But I do think it's a good bounce back spot for Philly against a Milwaukee team that cannot wait for the season to end at this point. And who knows? Doc Rivers maybe retires. Who knows? Because nobody wants him at this point. I think he's completely washed. But I'll go for Philly early in this game. I don't mind the -9. Give me Philly first game. I think they come out firing. I think they're up by maybe double digits at halftime. We'll see if they keep it going, but I do think the first half's intriguing. I'll go for Philly in this one, -9.5, but I prefer the first half in this game. Before we get into the rest of the card, a reminder that we are brought to you by our sponsor, AVO. So if you want to make more money betting on sports, do it with AVO. That's AVO, best sports betting tool that helps you make a profit every time you decide to place bets. They do it by starting arbitrage and plus CV opportunities. If you don't know what that means, that's fine. You can use their video tutorial guides to help teach you how to use arbitrage, etc. But if you want to try out AVO, go to avo.bet. Use the code SGPN for $18 off your purchase. That's avo.bet. Code SGPN for $18 off your purchase. We're also brought to you by Kalshi. So it's a real money prediction market available in all 50 states. So you can trade tons of markets in sports, NFL, college football, college basketball, tennis, NBA, NHL, and more. Even UFC. I saw somebody had a $1.3 million prediction on Patty to win. Absolute donation Complete donation. You can write it off on your taxes. But anyway, point is, shout out to Gaethje for the nice win there by decision. But either way, point is, besides sports, they have a ton of other options like politics, entertainment, and even the weather. And you can also check out the new offer they have for new customers. You can get a great deal courtesy of us. New customers get $20 when they use the code SGPN. That's Kalshi, KALSHI, code SGPN for $20 free when you sign up at Kalshi. Welcome back, everyone, to the NBA Game Podcast. Finished going through the first couple games on the card. Time to move on into the next game. Moving on to another really ugly game on paper. Pelicans taking on the Thunder. Thunder are laying 15.5, and the over-unders at 235.5. New Orleans, a nice road win against San Antonio in their last game. As they ended up winning a low-scoring game, 104-95. As for the Thunder, they got bored. They lost back-to-back games at home to Indiana and Toronto. So they're taking a nap again because they officially cannot catch the Warriors anymore. So that was a fun dream while it lasted for the first month and a half. They would catch the 73-win Warriors. Not even close. But either way, point is the Thunder are kind of going through the motions. The Pelicans are a bad team, but recently showing some pride, I guess, as they ended up beating San Antonio. I'll ask you, because the Thunder keep rotating players in and out of the lineup, so they're never at 100%. Do you want to lay 15.5, or do you want to take the 15.5? Because I think I might take the 15.5. Based on what I saw against Indiana and Toronto, losing outright, I'm good. I really don't want to lay 15.5 with a team that might not care. Give me New Orleans plus 15.5.
Yeah, and I think that's just what it is. What you just, the last thing that you said, I just don't think they care right now. And I know that's kind of like cliche to say, but I mean, you can kind of see it with the rotations, with certain guys playing X amount of minutes. He's not playing the lineups that he typically plays. Like, you can see some stuff there. So it's making them look worse than what they are. Now, granted, I still don't think they should have lost either of those games at home, especially. Like, on the road, okay, like I get it. But at home, where they're like have one of the best home, probably the best home crowd in the league, like that's a place that they typically win, regardless of who's in the lineup. But again, I mean, it's some issues there
If you're
that I'm worried about. Like,
number, I need to know that you care.
Yeah, can they turn it on? And then you got the J-Dub stuff going on. Like, I don't really know. Can they just turn it on when they need to? And the West is like no joke. You know what I mean? And the Pelicans are playing great right now. They got the win over San Antonio. I mean, Zion's looking really good as long as he's on the floor. I mean, when he's on the floor, he's fine. It's just he can't get on the floor. But I think I like the Pelicans here to keep it close. But again, my track record betting against OKC is not good. There are probably like 4 or 5 times that I've done it, so take that with a grain of salt. But I will probably have a little much money on the Pelicans.
Yeah, I just think it's a lot of points. So I'll go for New Orleans, but I'm really not that happy about it. Moving on to the next game. You're looking at Detroit, laying 5.5 in Denver. The over-under's at 218.5. Of course, Joker's still injured, but you're looking at the Pistons, who right now are still looking solid in the Eastern Conference, but recently in the results, they have been fine. I mean, they had the one no-show against Houston. Besides that, though, they've been good, as they have won 5 of their last 6. They killed the Kings in their last game, so nice job by them, scoring 139 in that game. Now, Denver has been winning games. They ended up beating Washington. They ended up beating Milwaukee. Milwaukee game was weird. Giannis left. They were winning by a bunch of points. Then they almost blew the entire thing, but survived a Kuzma half-court shot at the end. The point is, though, Denver hasn't really played any good teams lately, and when they have not shown up. The last couple of wins for Denver, they beat Milwaukee, they beat Washington, they beat the Wizards again, they beat Dallas, they beat New Orleans, they beat Milwaukee. So over the last couple of weeks, all of their wins are against bad teams, and they played Charlotte, who's been good lately. They got blown out at home. They played the Lakers. They were up by a bunch at halftime, fell apart completely in the second half because they can't score. I'm on Detroit. I've been very high on this defense for the last couple of weeks, especially. And unless Murray goes nuclear, I'm not banking on a Peyton Watson 30-point game again. I don't think their supporting cast can score against this team. Kate's healthy again. Good enough for me. I know Holland's been injured, but still. I'll go Detroit minus 5.5. It's a low total for a reason, but I really don't think Denver can score against this defense. Give me Detroit minus 5.5.
Yeah, I like the under. I think for everything that you just outlined, I do think that the pace will be slowed down. Both teams don't really want to run; they prefer to play in the half court. Detroit can run a little bit. They just, I mean, the K during pick and roll is their like bread and butter, and that's what they want to go to. So they'll typically walk it up a lot. And I think the Nuggets defensively, in those numbers, like the teams that they playing, when you adjust for opponent, it's a lot worse than what it seems now. But I think I've seen some things with the athleticism that they have on the wing with Peyton Watson being able to guard, because he can really guard. I mean, he scored 30, but he can guard. And so I've been blindly betting on Denver since Joker's been out, because I thought they had been undervalued. And I mean,
I thought they were too, but they really only win low scoring games now.
Yeah, yes, and I think that's what's going to be going on here. So I'm going to go with dog and under because I think it's correlated. The Pistons are a team who I really like, and I think if they can get a wing somehow, man, they would be in business, especially in the East where it's not a lot of contending teams until Jason Tatum gets back. I mean, he won't be 100% this year.
Yeah, so we agree on the under. I'll go for Detroit though in this game. Moving on to the next game, the Nets taking on the Suns. Suns are laying 8.5 at home, and the over/under is at 213.5. Now, a reminder: even though the Suns are very good, at least compared to expectation, Devin Booker is still out. He's going to be out for at least a week. He was seen with crutches, so we'll see if a week is probably optimistic. I think he'll be out longer than that, but we'll see. But either way, Phoenix is 14-6 at home. Nets are 6-15 on the road. They played about a week ago, and the Suns did win in Brooklyn by 9. Now, for this game, I have to point out that the Nets have been really, really bad lately. They should have beaten Boston in the overtime game. I can't believe they lost that game. It's good for me long term, but either way, I can't believe they punted that game to Boston. Then they immediately came back and played the Clippers on the West Coast, and they lost by about 37 points. So the Nets have been in free fall as after the new year started. Yeah, they realized the goal of the season. I imagine that Joe Tsai told the coaching staff, don't forget your purpose here, because the Nets have lost a grand total of 10 of their last 11. They have been punting games left and right. As for Phoenix, look, they can't really score because Booker's out. So I don't mind the under in this game. The last two games against Atlanta scored 103. Booker got injured there in the fourth quarter. I think they scored like 12 points the entire fourth quarter. It was pretty disgusting. Played the Heat, scored 102. We know the Heat have a bunch of high-scoring games anyway, and they could barely crack 100 against this team. I think the Nets are actually live in this game. They've been really bad, but at least they're healthier than this Phoenix team. I like the under. There's no guarantee that either team even gets to 105 in this game. So I like the under, and I think, as you said for the last game, I think it's correlated. 8.5, though, with no Booker from what I've seen from the Suns team is an insane number. Give me the Nets plus 8.5. Give me the under 213.5.
Yeah, I agree with you on both parts. I was looking at first half under as well, just thinking that it comes out to a sluggish start. And I mean, the Suns, I was completely wrong about them, but now they're at a level to where they're not that much better than the Nets when the Nets are actually playing to win and be competitive. So I'm going to take the Nets here. 8.5 is a lot of points. I think it probably should be closer to maybe 6, 5.5, 6. But the Suns fans will show up. They have the best concession prices on the planet, pretty much. So the fans will show up. I think the Suns will maybe pull away late, but I think it'll be competitive through and through. And then the Nets, they'll want to do. I mean, they'll end up doing what they want to do, which is be competitive and then lose. I mean, that's not much.
Suns won by 9 on the road a week ago with Booker playing against this team. So I think 8.5 is way too many points. I'll ask you, though, because once again, we are talking about the Nets here who have been horrific over the last couple of weeks. With Booker being out, is MPJ the best player on the court?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So you're going to give me a team with the best player on the court getting 8.5 points?
8.5, yeah.
I'll take that. I think that number is too high. Moving on to the next game. You have the final game. Clippers laying 9.5, and they're taking on the Jazz. For this one, the over-under is at 231.5. Clippers laying 9.5. Now, we know the Clippers have been really good since Ty Lue basically told this team, forget everything that you saw for the first 2 months, and the season starts now. They've been very good. Last game beat the Nets by 37. For Utah, it was ugly against Miami. They got buried in that game. nobody cares because Nurkic has 3 straight triple-doubles. They've gotten blown out in 2 of those 3 games. But, I mean, the props keep cashing, I guess. So people made a lot of money backing Nurk over the last week or two. But it doesn't change the fact this team still stinks. I'm on the Clippers. I know that in general, Utah is a team that we have blindly backed at home this season, and it has worked out pretty well. But watching them play lately, the defense is just so terrible. If I was going to back Utah, I would need full confirmation that Lauri Markkanen is playing. And we'll see if he ends up playing and go from there. But so you might want to wait and sacrifice a point or two to see if Lauri's going to play in this game. But they can't guard anybody. And giving Nurkic extra playing time, yes, I know the triple-doubles are fun. He's arguably the worst defensive center in the entire league. So you're just going to get killed. Like, have fun trying to guard James Harden on the perimeter with all these pick-and-roll switches. I'm on the Clippers, and I'm on the over. I just see an offensive avalanche from the Clippers here. We'll see if Lauri plays, so I'll wait and see before I lock it in. But give me the Clippers minus 9.5.
Yeah, I like the word offensive avalanche because I think we're going to see a lot of points to the over. I think the Clippers will be similar to what we talked about in the Knicks game. Like, I think they're going to be efficient when they have to score, like in the half court. They're not going to be, up and down. They're not going to run up and down. That's kind of what the Jazz want them to do. So I think we'll see a lot of points. 231. So it's 115. Yeah, I think both teams.
Just for reference, by the way, Utah last game at home played Miami. They gave up 147 points.
Yeah. Now the Clippers might not. The Clippers can't get to 147, but yeah. I think they can get to 120 at least, and then the Jazz will do the rest. But I mean, I like the Jazz in the spot. Obviously, their record is what it is at home. They play to the over at home. I think 13 of 21 have gone over at home, if I'm not mistaken. So they played them. They actually beat them by 20 at home in the first meeting, and then they lost by I think 11 or 12 in the second meeting. So they've played them okay. And I think if you lock in this number right now, if Lauri plays, it's just kind of icing on the cake. So I'm going to take the Jazz.
By the way, just for reference, Utah won the opening game of the season by 21 at home. And the second game, which was on New Year's Day, the Clippers won at home by 17.
Oh, 17. Okay, cool. Yeah. But I like dog and over.
Yeah, I'll go with favorite and over because the Clippers have been good lately. And I feel good about the Clippers because I actually backed them right when they started their streak. I took them against Portland that one game. And then since then, they've been on fire. So there you go. Either way, though, once again, it's going to wrap it up for all the games on the card for Tuesday before we get into the Lock and Dog picks. And, of course, Underdog. A reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. So if you pick 'em entries, chance to win 5,000 times your entry. Of course, Lonte and I will give out an Underdog entry right after this. But they're also bringing the playoff magic all playoffs long. Every weekend during the playoffs, open the app and see what promos are waiting for you. Plus, if you're a new to Underdog, great sign-up deal right now. Play just $5 because I need $5 bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. They've been great since all season, especially on props. Check them out for the Super Bowl as they can help you make some money. Plus, a reminder, check them out for college basketball, for golf, and a bunch of other sports. If you want to go premium with Rhythm, make sure to use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the app, and you'll get a quarter off your first month. That's Rhythm, RATHMM, code SGPN25 for a quarter off your first month at Rhythm. Welcome back, everyone, to the NBA podcast. Finished going through all the games on the Tuesday card. Time to move on into the Lock and Dog picks. Lonte, what is going to be your Lock and Dog for the show?
So for the lock, I'm going with derivative. We'll go first quarter minus 3.5. And Lauri better play. I mean, he's out at the game right now at BYU.
They said he's expected to play, whatever that means. So we'll go from there.
But yeah, so I'm going minus 3.5 first quarter for Philly. Like you said, they want to get that bad taste out of their mouth from how they played. I mean, they didn't play a ton of minutes. The starters didn't, so it's not like they'll be, tired from. It's a short trip anyway from Charlotte to Philly, so it's not overbearing on a back-to-back. So I expect a home run effort from them in the first quarter. So I'm going to lay at 3.5. For the dog, I'm going to go to Denver. I've been betting them since Joker's been out. It's been pretty good to me. I'm going to go with them to win the game, plus 205 on the money line.
All right, so for my lock here, I'm actually going to go to a game that you didn't like at all. I'm going to go to Philly. I'm going to take Philly in the first half. I'm going to take Philly minus 5.5 on the first half spread at minus 114. Simply put, I think it's a very nice bounce back spot after Philly got curb stomped by Charlotte today to just come back out against the Milwaukee team with no Giannis and really no talent, with Embiid back in the lineup, with Paul George back in the lineup. Maxey was horrible. I think it's a very good spot for Nurse to get on his guys, get them motivated for this game, and to just come out swinging in this game. Give me Philly first half -5.5 as my lock for the show. For the dog, it's such a ridiculous angle if I actually want to take it, because this team is awful, but it really is a bunch of points for Portland. It really is. Do I want to make a case for the Wizards? Maybe Wizards first half. Like, I don't know if I want the full game because Washington's been punting games down the stretch lately.
For the first half.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do it. Give me the Wizards first half money line at +172. I think the Wizards are in a good spot. They're playing at home. They didn't play on Monday. Portland's playing against Boston right now in a low-scoring rock fight. They're down 5 with 41.5 seconds left. I mean, this game's just been a physical war, so I do think that fatigue will play a bit of an extra factor here. I know Avdia has a revenge game coming up. I get it. But I think Washington can actually hang in there against this team. And Portland, as a decent favorite this season, has been pretty abysmal. So I'm going to go with the Wizards first half money line +172 as my dog for the show. Moving on to Underdog. Lonte, anybody you want to actually go after?
Tyrese Maxey. Points, rebounds, assists.
Okay, so you just assume Maxey bounces back after being terrible.
I think he's going to have a crazy game.
Yeah, I don't see anything on Maxey because we don't know if Embiid's fully playing and everything. So
that's true. But I looked at, obviously Avdia, but we don't know if he's going to play either. So those are the two guys that I had circled. Let me see. What else?
All right, you know what? I'm going to go for an angle here. Actually, let me actually see if it's not an Underdog. I'm going to have to actually switch tabs for a second to just see, to get the Underdog lines here. All right, let's see what we got. Shea's at 7.5 assists. That feels like a lot, but then again, New Orleans can't guard anybody. So that could be fair.
Is Brunson PA?
Yeah, Brunson's fine. I mean, we think the game could get ugly early. I don't see Brunson listed, so we can't use him. So that's not an option right now. We don't really have many games going on, at least for lines here. Sorry, just trying to find something that I can go with here. Yeah, it really feels like there's only 2 games being listed on Underdog right now. Which
what we got? What 2 games is it?
I got the Thunder game and I got the Nets game. Those are the only 2 games that I have listed on this.
What is MPJ PR?
Okay, I can do that. So Porter Jr. PR, you can find available at 29.5.
I like that higher.
Okay, so go for the higher on that. Looking at some of the other stuff, what else do we want here? Do you want to? You know what? I'll go for the Shea lower assists. The number feels too high. Shea lower 7.5 assists. He might walk into 30-35, but the assist number does feel a bit high. Give me the lower on that. And last but not least, do you want to choose Zion?
Oh yeah, I'll take that. Definitely take
cool. We'll go with Zion higher 20.5 points. So once again, for Underdog, the 3 pick entry here, we're going to go with Michael Porter Jr., higher 29.5 PR, SGA, lower 7.5 assists, and Zion Williamson, higher 20.5 points. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show. Back once again on Tuesday night to get into the Wednesday games. Till next time, find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter at XXLonteXX. A reminder, find the actual NBA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. Find it on Spotify or Apple. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Leave a rating and review on Spotify or Apple. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your